morning, everyone, to another episode of Fusion Talks, where we have a conversation with Saira Gulamani. She is the founder and the CEO of doyourbit.xyz. It's a global initiative empowering the next generation of technology leaders through robotics, coding, and AI education for sustainability. A Harvard Extension School graduate, Sarah blends education, innovation, and social equity to foster youth driven climate action across underserved communities. From cross cultural hackathons in Africa to all girls climate coding camps in the UAE, her mission is simple but bold: equip students to do their bit for people, planet, and prosperity. I really love this triangle because that's the mindset that we want to shape as well through Fusion Minds. And now we have Saira with us.
Thank you.
How are you today, Saira?
I'm very good. Thank you so much for having me.
We are delighted to have you. And would you like as well to share more about overall what you do? What sparked the idea behind Do Your Bit?
I think for me, the idea was sparked about 8 years ago when my son introduced me to Lego. And Lego is an expensive hobby, and I was like, this is spending too much money on this. But he was explaining physics concepts to me using Lego. And that's when I sort of ventured into Lego education, where I then started teaching robotics and coding using Lego. And then I had the opportunity to work at Expo 2020, and that just opened my mind, and I went into sustainability. And at the same time, my daughter was also graduating in sustainability. So I think my daughter sort of pushed me towards the sustainability, and that's how Do Your Bit came about.
It started from family inspiration,
Literally.
And I'm happy that your kids paved the way and you connected the dots.
That's right.
How did your background at Harvard shape your approach to education and impact?
I think for me, the Harvard journey was very transformative. We've done a lot of theory, you've done a lot of practical work, but just putting it all together and really bringing back to the community. How could I bring whatever I had learned at Harvard and everywhere else back for the community, especially the underserved communities? And I think that's what my takeaway was, because there people have access to a lot of things. In Africa, from where I come from, we don't have access to much. So I was really thinking about how can I bridge this gap? And I think that experience at Harvard taught me how to really bridge it with a purpose.
Wonderful. And you're really nailing it, where to start and to really look after how to, uplift the vulnerable communities. There's a lot to do. What was your first aha moment that proved this model works? And we can't wait to unpack what is your model about.
I think for me, that aha moment happened in India when I was actually teaching a group of girls who live in an orphanage. And we were doing coding with them. And they had never heard of coding. They had not heard of any of these tools that we were giving them. And once they understood the tools, they understood how to code, they were creating solutions for problems that they were facing in the orphanage. For example, one of the biggest problems they faced was theft. If a girl has a nice hairband or a nice pencil, it disappears.
Even this, something as simple as
small as that. And what the girls did is they created an alarm system using this coding technology. And till today, it's still there in the orphanage. And they connected it up in such a way that if they were all having lunch and dinner in the dining hall, somebody was loitering around in their dorms, the alarm would ring. Because that's when the thefts were happening, when they were all either having lunch or dinner, and somebody would walk in and steal stuff. It was so basic, but that was their need. And they identified the problem, they created the solution for themselves. And that, I think, is when we realized what we were doing was right, and it makes us do what we do.
Exactly. And you can, cater it to be fit for purpose for any challenge or problem.
Absolutely.
Where we can create abundance of solutions.
Absolutely we can.
So let's discuss coding for climate. When it comes to youth innovation, who are at the forefront, how are young students using AI, robotics, coding to address real climate challenges?
The way we've actually done it is they identify a problem and they create a solution. So, for example, I'll give you an example in Kenya. We were doing a project with the kids who live on a farm, and we were doing Zoom classes with them using our product, and they don't have access to anything there.
Yes.
And they identified a problem, and what we did is we then got them to work on a solution and prototype it, build it with their own hands. I think that's what is different with us. They must build with their own hands, so they take ownership of their solutions and then they implement them.
So, for example, what was one of the problems that was identified on a farm? And do they have access, let's say, to internet, electricity? Like how you were able to hold the Zoom calls? Do they have the tools? Was it through phones or iPad? Like I'm really interested to know further, and if you can shed more light on the circumstances and how you are able to penetrate a certain community and what type of problems they were exposed to.
Sure. So in this case, they get internet about once a week for an hour or two. Okay. They use the teachers' mobile phones to access it. And because this coding platform can be downloaded anywhere, they were using it on the phone. So we got a kit to them. And the problem they identified is water. Their moms have to carry water from the river to the village. They have to carry it on their heads. And they said, this is painful for them. It's very difficult. So they created a little vehicle that could hold a bucket that would move the water from the river to the village. So the first few times when they tried this, it collapsed. It failed miserably. But they kept trying. Class after class after class, they kept trying. And eventually it moved 5 meters. Then it moved 10 meters. Now it's moving 50 meters.
So it's a lot of iterations.
A lot of iteration. But finally they've understood the logic. Yes. They've understood the innovation behind it. And they are working on their models now.
So it was like a robot.
It was
that
like
can
a little
carry
robot,
a bucket, or
that can carry the bucket from the river to the village. Okay. So they started with a small bucket, everything crashed, it all fell. Never mind, you start again. And eventually they were able to move this 50 meters.
How proud are they to...
And I think for them it was like, oh my God, we solved a problem. And the best part of it is we did the entire training in Kiswahili. Because they don't speak English. They don't have the language skills. So we did the entire training in Swahili. And now they're all excited moving this water back and forth, and the moms don't have to carry it on their heads.
What a super Mother's Day gift as well. Yeah. Really, I've also read sometimes the moms, they walk for hours.
Hours, yes.
Under the sun carrying all of this in order to provide water for their family. Can you share a powerful story from the UAE, India, or Zanzibar that moved you?
I think from UAE, we had a really interesting story at our last hackathon, the one that we did in 2024. It was soon after the floods that had hit Dubai. And the children were quite shaken up because they hadn't seen this sort of water and rainfall before. And they were trying to create solutions that could help UAE as a country where they live in. And they came up with some certain solutions to do with water and disaster management, which were very close to their hearts because they have lost some family members in different parts of the world because of that. And now when this rain happened here, they were scared.
Yes.
So they've now created these solutions, and we're hoping we can take these solutions to the next level, take it to a Shark Tank, and let these kids, let these girls pitch it to them.
Young entrepreneurs.
Young entrepreneurs. And I think that was really nice because although the rains had just happened, the girls still came to the hackathon and created solutions.
They are really so aware about what's going on, and they are ready to transform challenges into opportunities.
100%.
Powered by coding, AI, Lego. How do these students, they view climate differently after participating in Do Your Bit programs?
I think what one of our USPs is we get the kids connected locally to the kids in Africa. So
Okay.
I like them to exchange views. We talk about climate change and everything here, but climate change is very different for the kids in Africa.
Yeah.
Talk to them and understand how they live climate change in Africa. So I get the groups to talk all the time and then collaborate and come up with solutions. And I think that sharing of knowledge has been very
It's
helpful.
powerful.
It blows their mind. Oh my God, this is really happening in Africa, and then that's how they share
So
and
you
learn.
help to widen their horizons about various problems
Yeah, for
because
sure.
the context is different. It's pretty local, and they can maybe inspire each other
Each
with
other.
solutions.
Yeah, definitely.
Very happy to hear this. So, girls in tech, I know you have this mission towards as well amplifying the roles of girls in STEM and in tech in particular, empowering them through play and purpose. We all know how EduFun really retains knowledge. Tell us more about the All Girls Hackathon for Climate. What's the vision behind it?
I think for us the vision was to celebrate girls in ICT. There is a day that's designated in April for Girls in ICT Day, but we've never seen a celebration of that.
Recognition.
So this is when we decided to have a hackathon that celebrates the day and invites girls from UAE across UAE to come and hack for climate change. So they not only come, some of them are very new to this concept, don't really want to come, but the teachers say you need to go, and they're almost afraid of technology. But once they're there, they get familiar with the kit, they start playing. There, I think the whole world opens up for
What
them.
is the age group of the girls we're talking
We've done
about?
grade 5, 6, and 7 right now.
Okay.
So between the ages of about 10 to 13. And their minds are like sponges, they're just absorbing things. And initially, those who came who were very shy, were not really talking, ended up leaving, talking, explaining their solutions,
Engaging.
presenting. Yeah, absolutely. And they came back again this year.
At this age, do they really start figuring out that they have a passion or inclination towards tech?
I think, you see, normally tech has always been a boys' thing.
Yes.
And they were thinking, well, robotics and coding is for the boys. But when they come, they realize they can do it too. So I think that has really changed.
You're shaping the mindset.
The mindset that they can do it too.
Of course.
And this is an all girls thing, so they feel very comfortable with other girls around them. There's no pressure. And all the mentors we have are female, all the judges are ladies. So it's really nice for them to be in a very safe space to come and do this.
So you're breaking barriers at an
Yes.
early age
At an
and
early
showing
age.
them anyone can do it.
Anyone can do it.
It's
yes.
not a boys' world.
No,
Of course,
it
it's
certainly
not.
is not.
Why is it important to tie technology education with social innovation for young girls?
I think it's almost creating a bit of a future readiness for them, because we know, I mean, we all know jobs are going to be difficult as we go along. And this is the time to really bring in that social innovation, almost social entrepreneurship within the girls, and take charge of creating solutions themselves and not relying on, it has to be a job. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the jobs, but they will be a few. But if they can take ownership of providing solutions themselves, they become their own social entrepreneurs.
They can chart their course ahead
100%.
and help uplift communities. So this is the
wherever
beauty.
it is. Yeah, the communities can be, here, they can be in
Anywhere.
their home countries, wherever it is.
That's wonderful. As they say, teach them young. And
them young. Yeah.
you're giving them the tools, empowering them with knowledge, education, tech, which anyways, it will always remain relevant and helps us to remain relevant. What barriers have you encountered, Saira, and how have you tackled them?
I think the only barrier was really a mindset. For them to say, oh, I don't think it's for me, maybe it's just for the boys. But I think the schools have been very forward thinking in that, and are really putting forward the girls that, no, you've got to go and do this, you need to try this. And I think with that sort of support system in place, and parents have been doing it too. Girls who used to be shy about robotics are excelling now in STEM and technology. So I think the parents are also beginning to realize that it's not, tech is not a boys' world.
Anyways, in many schools, it's becoming part of the curriculum. There are some classes for tech and design and extra as well activities when it comes to coding and even camps.
Yes.
So I believe this space is gaining more attention and traction and interest.
Yeah, and interest from the girls.
So, Lego Senior Seeds of Change, I want to address this. You speak about play from 0 to 99. How did the Golden Years program evolve? I want to know all about it.
So the Golden Years program is an interesting one for us. I was on a flight once, and I had some kids sitting next to me who were playing with Lego, having fun. And there was an elderly couple that was on my right side. And they just sat there the whole time, and they were so bored. They seemed a little bit nervous, didn't want to engage in anything. And I was thinking about the needs of the children, from 0 to 6. Are those like at 75 plus, whether it's gross motor skills, cognitive, fine motor skills. And I came back and sat at the drawing board and tried to figure out, is there something I can do, which I've done for the 0 to 6 to do for 75 plus? And I created a little curriculum around it, and I tested it, and it worked. So I think that was the birth of the Golden Years program, in a sense that anybody can do Lego. And the skills that we were sort of teaching them at that 75 plus were those we were teaching them at 0 to 6. And what we then did is we actually bridged the two. We got grandchildren to play with their grandparents and created this intergenerational bonding, where they can both play and have fun together.
What an idea! And how do they feel after, playing, engaging? What does it leave on them in terms of impact?
I think for the seniors, we did a pilot program in Tanzania in August last year, where we had 160 seniors in 3 batches, and they didn't want to go home. They did not want to go home. They wanted to play. They wanted to have more activities. They were talking to each other, which otherwise was not as common. They were arguing with each other. Oh, my car is better than yours. My tower is better than yours. And just got them to start building with their hands.
And to be creative.
To be creative, to talk to each other, and just break the barriers that this is just not only for kids. And eventually, when we finished all our sessions, they wanted more. And they were putting their hands up and said, well, no, we want to do this. We want to come and add our bricks here. And these are otherwise, they used to just sit. So there was no passive sitting. They had to be engaged. And they were learning. And the best part of it is we did it in 2 languages. We did it in English and Gujarati, because the seniors that we were dealing with spoke that language. So we did it in the language. And now we're waiting. That was our pilot. And we're doing a full-fledged program for them in September this year.
But once you launch those programs, like how they are being accessible, are you doing partnerships with any entities that host seniors, or it's something for the household, or it is for, institutions that take care of them?
I think it's multiple. One is with institutions which are locally, like community centers, or where we want to promote the trainer program. So really get the caregivers and the staff there trained to deliver this program, which has now been copyrighted, so it can be distributed there. And also get partners to come together and say, okay, I'm doing some CSR work. Okay, I'd like to support this in this program, and do it for 6 or 10 weeks for the seniors.
It's only building and playing, or it also has robotics or any approach to tech?
This one currently is only about building, but there are so many things that we do with them. We have about 400 activities that we can do with them. So whether it's their cognition, memory skills, just gross motor skills, a whole bunch of things. One group has already asked me if they can do robotics. I'm like, yeah, one thing at a time. But I think we're just promoting, healthy aging.
Okay.
And get their minds running.
To be busy instead of idle. And I think it would be interesting to introduce as well robotics to them, because many could have been as well very well educated.
Yes.
They were professionals in certain, vocation or careers, and they might have needs and problems that they want, if not them, others to propose solutions to.
Yes, I'm sure.
So
I'm
then
sure
you
they'll
can
come up with
close
something.
the loop
Yeah.
where
I'm sure they'll come up with something.
I'm sure. How does play learning enhance inclusion and well-being across age groups?
I think when you say it's a very inclusive program. There isn't a right or wrong answer when you're playing with Legos. So if the bricks fall down, it's fine. You can pick them up and get involved again, and anybody can do it. You don't. There's no criteria that you have to have this and this skill or this and this skill to do it. Anybody can do it. So we've had children in our Lego programs who are even maybe they're autistic, but one of my coders is actually autistic, but he's one of my finest coders. And in terms of for the seniors, there's such a variety of people. We've had some seniors who are just at the brink of dementia and are able to click into our program and use it as a measure to almost measure their levels. It's not a scientific thing because I'm not an expert in dementia, but we can see how it's helping them. Over from 1 week to week 6, we see a change. And that's, I think, very heartwarming for us to be able to see that impact.
Extremely critical. So this is the power of really engaging, playing, being creative, keeping the mind alive.
Yeah.
It doesn't only create solutions, but it contributes to our healthy longevity.
And when it's well-being, they come to the sessions because they're excited to be there. They almost regain a sense of purpose,
Stimulated.
a sense of dignity again.
Yes.
That I can build this, I can do this. Yeah.
Excellent. What's next for these programs from a research, legal, or scale-up standpoint?
So I think now that we've got the copyright all sorted out for all the materials, we're looking for partnerships with organizations. We're looking at possibly with community centers that they can sort of train their trainers to take this program further. We're talking to a group right now in Pakistan who is interested in taking it to the northern parts of Pakistan. And they would run the program in Urdu, for example. But we need to then train the trainers and then let them take it forward because we can't be everywhere.
Of course.
But it's really...
This is universal solution and applicable to anyone, anywhere, all age groups. So scaling the movement's seeds of change. So what partnerships or ecosystem do you dream of building around your Do Your Bit?
I think for us, it's to do with innovators, educators, get the government and communities involved in it right from the get-go, so that they start seeing the benefits of how these solutions can help them. Whether it's Lego, whether it's our P3 kit, whatever it is, they need to see the benefits themselves.
So let's dive into this. I want you to explain what is this beautiful, colorful box where every side has a message is all about.
Okay, so this is our flagship project. It's called the P3 Kit. It's about people, planet, and prosperity, and it addresses the UN SDG goals, and it's about Earth, space, food, and water. Wow. And it's powered by the BBC microbit, which is inside. And what it is, I think one of our most important elements of this particular product is actually our ethical lens. This is where we get the kids to think about the ethics of technology.
Magnifies things.
Yeah, it's just a symbolic version for them. So every time they are creating a solution, they look at it from the ethical point of view. Am I harming someone? Am I harming an animal? Am I harming the environment? Think about it in that sense. And this has been really interesting because they go back home and they ask their parents, what is ethics?
Yes.
And then the parents call me, what are you teaching them? And I said, this is a good dinner table discussion about ethics.
Definitely.
So this is in a nutshell. It's got, like I said, the 4 themes, and it's got a whole bunch of sensors in it. So they do different experiments and create different prototypes using the materials that are in here.
Wow. So here are the microchips
Yeah, the
or
microchips, the IoT bit, the microchip, and all the other sensors that they need to create different prototypes. So I'll give you an example of this. If you have a plant at home
Yes.
and you travel over summer, what happens to the plant?
We need someone to water them.
Exactly. Now, if you had this, it can do it for you.
Really?
So what you do is you code it and put a little soil moisture sensor into the plant. When the plant needs water, it will say, I'm thirsty. You can code it to say, I'm thirsty. And then you can create a water pump using the pieces in here
sprays the
that
right
will
water.
put the water in as and when it needs it. Like the way we drink water when we are thirsty, we don't just keep drinking.
Yes.
We drink when we're thirsty. So it not only addresses the question of watering the plant, but also conserving water. You only water it when it needs water. So this has been a really exciting project for the kids over summer. So they test it and they leave it at home and come back and their plants are alive.
What a proud moment for them
Yeah.
and their parents,
Yeah, for their parents,
to see them creating something which is useful, and then they can see how it's being applied day in, day out. And I'm glad, you gave already a few examples around water. And the guest before you, the whole episode was about as well water conservation, and measuring water. Is there anything besides water that it's simple, practical, that kids create?
You can grow your own food.
Really?
So what we did is, again, using the soil moisture and the food kit.
Yes.
They started growing their own chilies. It was the wrong choice of product, but anyways, they were growing their own chilies. And I think what they learned from that was taking ownership for it and how hard it is to grow food. So that goes down to less wastage of food. Now they are telling their parents not to waste food because they realize how hard it is to grow food. And in this part of the world where you get everything, it's really important for them to understand the concept of food security.
Yes, and food waste.
And food waste, yes.
That's wonderful. But if I'm a girl in a school excited about technology, I want to find solutions, and I started to engage, but I've never coded. Is it too complicated? Will it take me so long to be onboarded and start delivering?
It will take you 30 minutes to figure it out.
Only?
That's it.
I've always thought it's so complex.
30 minutes to figure it out. And once you start playing with the codes, you're on your way.
And you don't need to be brilliant in mathematics?
No, you don't need any math, science background.
Yeah, mini engineering.
No, nothing at all. Nothing at all. In fact, one of the first things we get the kids to do is to use this chip to count the number of steps you walk. Simple. You'll code it, you'll attach it to your shoe, and you'll walk around, and it'll tell you the number of steps you're walking. And they said, well, but that code was easy. That's it. Once they understand how to logically
the concept
put it,
and the logic,
we're home free after that.
So instead of wearing your watch or holding your phone,
you can do this. Yeah.
Just create your code.
Yeah, in Kenya we used this for them to walk and measure the steps, and the kids here were using their iPhones and their watches, and these guys were using a microbit.
And like this box, it comes with the solution. Like, is it something that you sell, or it's only part of workshops? If people now are interested, they want students in classrooms, let's say schools or households, to have their children have this precious box, which is, all purpose.
Yes.
Any solution to certain problems can be created by their children.
So I think it's threefold. There's one where we do the hackathons, where we provide the kit and they come and hack.
Okay.
Now we've also got a curriculum around this. I've mapped it to the British, IB, American, and Indian curriculum.
Bravo.
So this can be a plug and play in any classroom, because teachers don't have time to create these slides
from scratch.
They have absolutely no time. So we've got a plug and play solution, and some of the schools here are using it, where we provide everything for them. All they do is put the drive into their computer. So there's student workbooks with it that we have ready. So teachers don't have to do anything. You can do a 1-hour sustainability lesson every week using this kit. Everything is there. The teachers don't have to do a thing. It's all provided for. And then we, of course, have some parents Some kids who are very excited about sustainability, they buy the kit and they buy the workbook to get them started. And
where is it found? Like it's on your online platform, or where they can find it?
currently available on our website. But I have a bunch of students, very excited students, who want to now put it on Instagram. So they're busy right now taking videos,
Yes,
and preparing it for social media. And they want to launch it because these are our young entrepreneurs.
of course.
And they've all been doing Lego with me since they were 5. So they've been with me now for many years, about 8 years almost. And this is their thing now. They want to take it to social media.
They need to be on TV, I think, as well.
Absolutely. They need to be there talking about it.
I love such matters to be contagious, that are purposeful, they're thinking about solutions, they're innovating. And I'm so proud of this generation. And thank you as well for giving them this opportunity to just unleash their imagination and believe in themselves, and believe that anything, has the possibility to be solved.
Yeah, for sure. And really, this is empowering them. They now feel, okay, we're in charge and we're going to get this off the ground. So that's what their summer assignment is.
To put the theory into practice. If we gave you 10x resources today, how would you scale?
The first thing I would do is, I think I would digitize it so that it can be accessible anywhere and everywhere. So, whether it's Train the Trainer program in Kenya, Uganda, anywhere in the world, they should be able to access it, and we digitize it. That way, you can use it anywhere in any part of the world.
How can countries like the UAE or Saudi Arabia adopt this model systematically?
I think it's because it's a plug and play solution. You just need to have the materials and get the teachers. We do a teacher training for them, and they are ready to take it into the classrooms.
They can take off.
Yeah, they can take off. You can do your standalone hackathons. You can do the classroom integration, whichever way you want it to.
This is a golden opportunity because, country leadership is discussing it, corporates, governments, and I know there's a huge thirst in academia, and there's need to inject sustainability in the curriculum. So you have a wonderful solution. I really hope all our listeners who are in education, academia, even investors, to help Saira scale this and penetrate it further into more classrooms and minds. Because when we discuss, people like you who are shapers for the future generation, we have something, a proof of concept, which is exciting children, and we need this ripple effect to continue. We'll be moving to a fire round of questions. Are you ready, Saira?
I am.
What's one word your students use to describe you?
They've always said I'm very inspiring. So inspirational, I think, would be the word.
Perfect. A tech tool you can't live without?
Coding.
Lego or laptops?
I think it depends where you're at in your journey. So if you're the enterprising, the entrepreneurial, the innovators are using coding. And if you're almost learning your logical, your thinking skills, all that, then it's Lego.
Yes.
For sure.
So I really loved what you walked us through in this episode. And I really want to leave you with any final messages that you would like Fusion Talks followers, listeners to capture before we wrap up.
I think for us, it's that watch the space and watch the impact we're making and help us make more impact. I think that's what I would like the message to be.
Thank you so much, Saira. You are one of the change makers, and I really hope that Saira's words is a call to action for educators, governments, and like-minded people to leverage such tools, because it sparks minds, it sparks souls about solutions, about SDGs, and what can be done at a very, early age. 10th graders, sometimes even smaller, even the elderly at the golden age, everyone is keen to make a difference in the world. So do your bit, it's there, and we have to do our bit together as society.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure to have you.
My pleasure. Thank you.